Hi everybody, welcome back to the channel and welcome to essential tools for airbrushing when using these products here. So we've got your substrate is what you're painting on. If you're a custom painter, let's just say you're painting on a crash helmet or a gas tank. There's loads of other things you could be painting on, but just say that you'd be using these products. If you're working in a studio like I am and you're working on an easel, you're going to be using papers and things like that and different substrates that way, right up to like aluminium, like dye bond. And you're going to need a decent tool to cut it, whether it's that or it's your substrate. Now I think that is an essential item to have a decent one of in your toolbox of tricks for airbrushing. It really is, because you will go through loads of this and you'll be chopping up loads of like papers and things like that before you start painting. So I've been sent out some products, some new cutting tools to try and demo, and I've opened two of the items this week and I've been using them on the channel, but you've not seen me use these on the channel because it's sort of off camera stuff. I don't like to film me chopping masking films out and things like that, or squaring up paper or cardboard. But these two tools have been an absolute godsend, guys. Just opening these two and we've got three more to look at. So let's move in and cut some masking and card and things like that and see how good they are. Right guys, the first two items that I was on about that I've opened this week have been these two. That is a must. You must, if you're in a studio or even if you're mobile, have one of these guys. This is a sharps box, so all your old blades go in there. Now the bonus of this one is you can snap your blades into this because you've got the metal jaws here. So if you've got the retractable blade, which is this one that I've been using, when you want to change the blades, you place them in the edge of it like that, hold it in and twist, and you can snap your blades off into here. If you're using a scalpel, you would unclip your blades like this. If you was using like a Swan Morton, that's an old blade, and then just drop them in your sharps box. Now that alone is a must. Just to have that in my studio has cleared all my drawers out of old blades, because I just chuck them in a drawer or you end up putting them down. Just put your old blades in a sharps box, job done. Moving back onto this, a lot of the retractable blades that are out there, the cheapy ones are plastic. This one is metal. So you've got a little bit more solid in your hand when you're pressing down, cutting through something that is quite thick. So nice and easy to use. They click into place really well. And you've also got a metal clip. So if you wanted to clip that onto your work trousers or whatever, you can do. You've got the clip at the back. Change your blade, you pull the back off, pull that out the back, and then you unclip the blades, clip them onto the little black pin, and then slide that. Do that with a blade. Clip it. I've not got my glasses on. Clip it on. Slice your fingers off in the process. End up in A&E. Take two, take three. Oh, when you want everything to go right and it doesn't, that's it, that goes in there like that. We got there. And then you clip that in the back. So that's your retractable. I'll just show you using it. So the blades in these are really good, and I mean really good. They're not your cheap blade, guys. They're really not. They cut very, very well. This is 300 GSM paper. Now, if you were to move on to something like that, that's solid cardboard. Now, it's going to take, you're not going to cut it in one pass. But 3 passes and you've gone through card like that. That's like 3mm card. So they work really well. So this has been an absolute godsend in the studio. This is the one I've been using off camera, cutting my sort of substrate up before I do a video. So a great one to have. You get that and you get a pack of blades. And I think just that and that will last you ages, because these blades are really good in these. As I say, they're not like the cheap blades you get in the bright yellow plastic ones that are flimsy. They're proper blades in these. So that's the first one. The next ones I've just opened off camera now because I didn't want to end up in A&E, because you know what packaging's like when you try and open up plastic packaging, it's a nightmare. The next one's this one. This one's a rotary cutter. Now, yellow plastic, yes, but solid. It's a hard plastic. It doesn't flex in your hand. Very rigid. So on this, you get a release guard here. You press down and it exposes the blade, and then when you move that forward it covers the blade up. This one would be great for cutting out, if you wanted to use, this is a thinner card, this is about 300 gram GSM paper. If you wanted to cut like circular shapes or round shapes like that, it goes through it like butter, guys. It really does. Again, it's all the same brand, so they're decent blades throughout on these. So this is the Rotary, and it just, for your round quick shapes, because this is a rolling blade, you can cut out some really nice shapes, especially if you're using like shields. You want to make up a quick shield out of cardboard, just go with the rotary cutter and you get the shapes and you're good to go. So another essential one in your airbrush kit would be this, the 18mm rotary cutter, and you just bring that forward and it blocks the blade, so you're not going to cut yourself on it. So that's the rotary cutter. Next one is this one. Now I wish I'd have opened this one up this week, because we did the bulldog sort of photorealistic piece and I was doing a lot of hair textures. Now what drawn my eye to this one is its pencil size. So it's the same thickness as a pencil. You take the plastic protected cover off the front and then you get this. Now this is a unscrew which releases the chuck, and then you slide either your blades out or into it, but you get that, and that is what I should have been using on that photorealistic piece. This is a like needle point end that you can put in, tighten that back up, like that, just twist and tighten, and then you've got your scratching back for your hair textures. I think this one will be brilliant for that. It's a nice grippy brass bit here that you hold on to, but that would be great for the intricate hair textures. And then in the box, this side of the box, you get packs of blades. So you would slide your blades in, twist and tighten up, and you've got a scalpel blade on the end of a pencil, as well as this one for doing textures. And I think if you're a modeler, like a clay model, this is like a sculpting tool at the end. So very versatile tool, that one. That's a great one to have, especially if you want to get some textures and things, or you're sculpting and you get your cutting blades as well. So that's that one. The next one is, I would say, like your scalpel, a bigger version to that. So you get your bigger blades in this one. You've got your protective cover again on the front. This one is the same, you unscrew like that and the blades slide out. Now there are cheaper ones of these on the market, and I've got one I can show you right now. These are your cheap versions of these. See the blades? You unscrew, he says. Well, yeah, same sort of thing. You unscrew, he says. That's it. You unscrew and then you slide the blade out. But this one is cheap. You've got to try and find the blade to get in there. Then you nip the bottom up like that. So it's like a very light aluminium, but it's very sort of hit and miss on the front of it with these ones. So there's loads of these sort of style knocking around, but then when you move on to this one, this is solid at the front, guys. You've got your brass here, then you've got a proper metal clamp that holds the blade sturdy. This is rubber and it's got a bit of weight to it as well. So this for cutting things like your Pro mask, like that, and that's cutting down to silicone paper, so you don't cut through. I've not gone through that. That's how good them blades are, when you can cut through like masking like that and not go through the silicone paper underneath. So a very good blade in these. You get packs of blades with them, so you can buy the blades separate if you run out. You get them in these like little seal packets with foam. Pack of 5 blades, but they're just solid. So very nice for cutting the Pro mask. You literally, it's the weight of the actual tool on there. You're just guiding it and it will cut. See, just cuts straight the way. So a very nice blade. And that was the other one. So these are the new tools. These are the essential tools that I'll be using. So there you go, guys. My demo is done. I've kept all my fingers and not ended up in A&E. So we've got some great essential cutting tools that will cater for all your masking, your substrates. A great set that could be in your toolbox and you can just go to and you know they're going to work and cut all your sort of products that you need to cut down. So we started off with the retractable. Now I've used these in the past and I've used the cheap plastic ones where you press on it and it's like flexing in your hand. You get no flex with this. They're just solid, so you can really press down and get a bit of force. And we cut that 3mm cardboard. A couple of goes through it, job done. Blades work really nice, easy to change. Not on camera they're not, but they are easy to change. And you've got your little clip on the back, so if you wanted to put it in your work trousers, great blade to have, always handy to have these. So there's that, and then you get your spare blades with it. Set of blades with it, so you're laughing really on that set. Then you got your sharps box, which is a must. I'm so glad this is in the studio now just to have this, because I had scalpel blades in my sort of paint sections, just like old ones just chucked in, because you sort of use them, you just put them down because you're on the fly and you're working. But then when you go to pick something up and you forget that you've wedged a blade in there, or one's dropped in and it's sticking upwards, and you stick it in your hand, that's when you wish you had something like that to put your spare blades in. And the beauty of this one is as well, you've got the metal slot. So if you wanted to snap your retractable, you can just place it in the top, kick it to the side and snap your blades off and they just drop into the box. So really handy. Then we moved on to this one is what I really liked, and I wish I'd have opened this through the week. This is the one that's like the multi one. This is, you've got your sculpting tool at the back, your brass front with the metal clamp, and then you've got the point, the needle point, which would have been brilliant for doing the hair textures with. And then you can change that up and you've got your blades in your box. So you've got another scalpel as well, which is slimline, very slimline like a pencil. So another great tool. Then you moved on to the bigger version of that. And I like this on the Pro masking. When you see me cut the Pro masking, there was no pressure whatsoever because we didn't even cut into the silicone paper. So you're literally just resting the blade on the top with the weight of the front, put your fingers either side and just glide with it, and it just cuts the Pro masking very easily. Again, solid, grippy front, so you've got something to grip hold of. And you get your spare blades. You can buy the packs of blades in 5s. So another essential. And then we had the rotary cutter, which I thought at the start, a bit gimmicky, rotary cutter. Never used one. I've used something similar for like a pizza cutter, bigger version. But you've got your little retractable cover that you clip forward and it covers the blade up, so you're not going to cut yourself. Move that back. Solid, even though it's plastic, it's a solid plastic. You do get different grades of plastic, and this is solid into your hand, so you've got plenty of, you can press down, and that's all you're sort of doing with this tool, is you're just putting your force down and then rolling with the blade, because it rolls round, and we cut that with it, and it cut that very clean. That was 300 GSM like paper, near on card, and it went through that like butter. So if you're doing a portrait and you've not got a shield to go round the jawline, you can literally just get the rotary cutter, roll around the shape really easy, and you've got quick and easy shields. So this selection of blades caters for all this, and it is all this that you're going to be using when you're doing your airbrushing, whether you're working on an easel or whether you're custom painting on the side of a gas tank. You're going to be using masking, or you're going to be using paper, illustration paper, cardboard, Dibond aluminium. Another good one is an aluminium ruler, guys. One that's got a point side flat that's raised about 2 mil, and then one that's got a high side at the back. So if you are cutting something thick like the cardboard, your blade's got something to go up against. Because I've done it in the past where you press down on a cheap ruler and you run a blade down, and the blade hops up, goes across the top of the ruler. You don't realise because you're doing it in one movement, and you cut straight across your fingers. So one with a high side is key, because you can put your blade and butt it up to it, and it's got something to slide against. So a good aluminium ruler will be good as well. I'll leave a link to this one in the description, and there'll be a link to all the cutting tools and the sharps box in the video description, guys. So I hope you've enjoyed the video. Drop your comments, tell me your thoughts. If you use this brand of product, tell me what you think. I think they're really good, and I'm looking forward to using the other ones in the up and coming videos. So thanks again, see you in the next one.